Number 1. Establish commitment. Implementation takes time and resources. Make sure you have commitment before starting this project. Tips. Know why you're implementing the ISO 9001. Is it because a client or a market is asking for you to register? Is it for the internal benefits? Is the motivation coming from executive management? Keep the reasons for implementing visible during the project to retain commitment and stay focused on the end goal. Assign an ISO steering team. This team should be made up of management from the different areas of the company, including the management representative and the people that have the authority to devote resources to the project and remove roadblocks. Common setbacks. Assigning responsibility for implementation to one person or department. The ISO 9001 Quality Management System is a management system. It is not a quality control program and cannot be implemented by quality assurance alone. Losing commitment during the project. During implementation, other projects come up that compete for people's time and resources. Ask decision makers if the ISO implementation is still a goal. 2. Prepare an implementation. A good project plan is a key part of a successful project. Tips. Conduct a gap analysis. Compare your current system to the requirements of the standard. Determine what's already in place and what needs to be implemented. From this, you can prepare task list for each of the sections of the standard. Have the ISO steering team create point teams for each of the sections that apply to your organisation. Determine team members and the timeline for each team. Use information from the gap analysis and task lists to determine the appropriate people for the teams and establish the timeline. Common setbacks. Proceeding without a plan. Without a plan, projects tend to run indefinitely without showing measurable progress. By having a plan, you have a specific deadline to meet. You can show progress as you meet the deadlines and take actions if you're not meeting the deadlines. Not having the ISO steering team approve and support the plan. The ISO steering team will be watching the timeline, coordinating and implementing the plan. They should have the input and the approval of the plan, or better yet, prepare the plan. Kick off the project in a big way. Let everyone in the company know you have started the project. Hold basic ISO 9001 training sessions for all employees. Tips. Include some sort of celebration in the kick-off. Examples include a lunch for employees, a picnic, prizes or a cake. Use a training and celebration to inform employees of the plan and timeline. Tell the employees how they'll be involved and how they'll be affected by the project. Communicate why this will be good for the company and good for the employees. Common setbacks. No kick-off. Employees that are working on the project are aware, but others in the company are not. When the new procedures are implemented, employees don't know why, and there's little support for the ISO project. Non-conformances are commonplace in this environment. Training on ISO 9001, but no information on why the company is doing this, or how the employees will be involved. This can result in the employees thinking, another management program, how long will this one last? Number 4. Design and document the QMS. Use information from the gap analysis in the project plan. Use people currently involved in each process to make changes to the existing process and bring it into compliance with the standard. Tip. Use the ISO steering team and the point teams for the design and the documentation. The ISO steering team meets on a regular basis. During these meetings, the team reviews the timeline, reviews what the point teams are working on, removes roadblocks, resolves conflicts, and reassigns resources as needed to keep the project on track. The point teams meet on an as-needed basis, according to the timeline. When the point teams meet, they address the tasks on the task list. Spread out the point teams on the timeline so you don't have too many meetings at one time. For example, you may want to have the document control team meet early in the project to establish a system to collect and control the documents that will be generated. But the internal audit team would meet later in the process because audits will not begin until the system is complete. Keep the point teams on schedule. Review their task lists and the ISO steering team meetings. Watch for problems and delays and give them help as soon as problems arise. Have each team member of the ISO steering team lead several point teams. Each point team should have an ISO steering team member for a leader. This allows you to coordinate the work of the different teams. Common setbacks. Poor team makeup. Make sure you include people involved in the process. For example, use purchasing staff for the purchasing team. Not meeting timelines. Establish realistic timelines for the plan. Teams should be able to meet them with small changes. If the teams are not expected to meet the deadlines, other tasks will take precedence. The project will drag on and lose energy. Misrepresentation of the standard. If you don't understand what's required by the standard, you may waste time and resources doing things that aren't required, frustrate team members, and miss important requirements of the standard. No central point of collection and control of new documents. If the document control system is not developed early on in the project, you create confusion on what documents are final, what has been approved, what is the final revision, where's the electronic file, has it been distributed. Not establishing document templates early on in the process. If you don't format and distribute documentation templates for the procedures and work instructions, you will not get consistent documents. You'll need to go back at the end of the project and redo all the documentation. Lack of communication during the project. Remember, employees that are not on point teams may not be hearing much about what's going on with the project. Employees may think that the project has faded away. Communicate with newsletters, bulletin boards or meetings. Number 5. Run the system for 3 months. Once a system is complete, follow documented procedures, conduct internal audits and management reviews, and make improvements to the system. Tips. Start off with an additional training for all employees. Summarise the new quality system, emphasising their responsibilities. Review the timeline for running the system and conduct audits. Schedule internal audits so that you can audit the entire system 2 times before the registration audit. This allows you to find non-conformances and fix them before the registrar comes in. Keep corrective actions on schedule. Hold management review at least once before your audit. That's required. More is better. Common setbacks. Lack of communication with employees that have not been involved in the design and documentation of the quality system will not be aware of the requirements of the quality system. Training and communication are critical to get them involved. Lack of follow-through on corrective actions. The new system will generate numerous corrective actions. If they're not investigated and completed, your system will not be ready for a registration audit. Ineffective management review. Management must take a close look at the data from the quality system, evaluate it and take action.